Next up, someone whose work it is to clarify what perplexes many of us. Dr. Avishek Anand on explainable AI.
Respected faculty members, colleagues, and my beloved students, I'm extremely excited and honored to be speaking in the commencement address for this new academic year. I'm Avishek Anand, an associate professor, and I build language models for a living. Every now and then, there comes a step change in technology. Now, a step change in technology is this significant improvement because of an invention or a series of related inventions. So there was the wheel, which was invented thousands of years before, the Gutenberg printing press, which ushered in a new age or era of knowledge. We had electricity, something which is not so much in the distance past, silicon and semiconductors, and more recently, the internet. Now, as a consequence of these technologies, what happens is there is a marked improvement in productivity of humans. We've heard about it a lot. This increase of productivity is purely because of automation of manual labor. And whenever we have this automation, we always have a resulting high efficiency. Now, three things happen when you have high efficiency. Firstly, existing industries get disrupted and new industries get created. Secondly, this frees up a bunch of free time to explore, innovate, and be creative. Thirdly, this results in fundamental different behavioral shifts, both at a personal and a societal level. And finally, this results in the overall well-being and increased peace in society. Now, whenever we've had higher efficiency, we free up a bunch of free time. For example, when we went from hunter-gatherers to agriculture, people were only thinking about one day at a time. When do we get the next parcel of meal, right? After agriculture, the life expectancy went up from 25 years to over 40. Similarly, when you had the Industrial Revolution, we invented machines to simplify labor, supply chains, and decreasing considerably the time for transportation. The life expectancy went from mid-40s to almost 60s. And more recently, we have had the information age where we've managed to reduce the information asymmetry between the haves and the have-nots, ushering in a new generation of new technologies and inventions. And life expectancy in some areas is now above 80 years. So does it really mean that everything is hunky-dory? Now that we are at the steps or the initial baby steps of a new wave of the age of AI? Well, I would say not quite. Let's go back to the information age and have a look at one of the things which is a bane of the information age, and that is information overload. So many of us are drowning in this deluge of data, right? So you have all the social media data, you have all the over-documentation in your workplace, and then you have a lot of personal data, right? And to complicate matters, a lot of this is non-credible, okay? Now, my mission is to help humans find relevant information in this deluge of information. And surprise, surprise, I use AI in this mission. So in some sense, my research is the science of search engines, which is usually using AI technology to help humans find relevant information. Everybody has heard about Google, but what I typically do is I focus on specialized search engines for helping historians, academic, archivists, or even sometimes e-commerce companies. I'll tell you why this is a difficult task. This is difficult because the user information need which a human has is often complex. I do this exercise in my information retrieval lecture. So I ask the student to think about a complex information need, right? Think about this as, I want to catch a mouse, but I don't want to kill him, okay? Or kill it. And I ask the student to compress this in only 2 words or 3 words, and only say these 2-3 words to its neighbor, to his neighbor or her neighbor, and ask the neighbor to decipher what the person means. Now, it's an extremely complex task to deconstruct from only 2-3 words the actual real intent. And that's essentially what search engines have to do. Secondly, you have to find the most relevant pieces of information from millions, if not billions, of documents and items. And finally, you have to do this within 1 second. That means that every millisecond extra results in dollar costs lost or lost people due to attention deficits. So, well, I've been talking a lot about AI and AI in search, but I actually have a split personality. On one hand, I build better, faster, bigger models for improving search. On the other hand, I'm extremely critical about what these models do. What do they learn from data? And my research goal is to come up with answers, solutions, which can explain the non-transparent AI systems. And the broad questions which I'm looking at is, what does the AI learn? And why did it make a given prediction? I'll give you a certain example. Now, this is a task which 10 years before was an extremely complicated computer vision task. The task is the following. On the left, you have an image, and the task is to automatically figure out what's there in the image. It's called the image classification task. And here the image is, of course, a horse, right? There are 2 AI models which predict the same thing, which is the correct thing, which means they should be good, okay? But AI model 1 looks at the bottom left, right? So you look at the red part there on the bottom left, and AI model 2 looks at the horse. Now, on close examination, it turns out that this is because there is a watermark at the bottom left. There's some text there, right? And the AI model 1 just learns the rule that whenever you see this watermark, predict that it's a horse. Okay? This is right, but is it right for the right reasons? Do you want this AI model to be deployed in your medical hospital, right? Predicting cancer? I would probably not. So what I want is my split personality to go mainstream. I would actually ask people, whoever is working on an AI model, to also focus on being critical of whatever the model is learning. And I hope that explainable AI can actually help in that. So one of the interesting problems that I've started looking at is to help overloaded doctors. So in the Netherlands, what happens is 20% of the time is typically spent in documentation for both doctors and nurses. And studies have found out that this already burdens or overburdens our under-capacity doctors, but it also results in burnouts. Can we come up with AI models and come up with responsible design structures which help not only help doctors to do what they are supposed to do, that is treat patients, but also take some time of documentation. My dad is a doctor. I still do not understand what he writes, so I hope there's some AI which actually helps, come up with coherent text. So what we need, because we are at the beginning of a new step change, dear students, in the university, you will learn about the first principles of problem solving, right? You don't have to learn about the first principles of AI, but you'll understand how to solve problems from the first principles. We will ensure that you get enough scenarios where you have to deal with failures. Many of you have not seen failures for an extended period of time, and dealing with the success and failure develops this personality that we want in our future students. And finally, look around you. These are your friends and colleagues who will go to trenches along with you, who will spend nights doing assignments with you, maybe co-found companies with you in the future, who knows, can become life partners. So my advice for you is think big and have fun and embrace the revolution, because we are at the start of a revolution and it's brewing, but as I said, I want my dual personality to go mainstream, which means with great power comes great responsibility, and tread with care. Thank you.